All right. 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 What is good? What is good? What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, you know who I is, the good doc, Dr. Mike, back again, once again, with another classic video for you guys today. My apologies for being late. I was on the phone trying to make a phone call and I had to deal with customer service. And I don't know how you guys are with customer service, but these motherfuckers know how to take their time. So I was talking to them as early as 7:30 this morning. They had me on hold and they were bouncing me around for at least the last 45 minutes, which is why the good doc is late. Come into the chat. My previous apologies for that. This time, that was the exact reason for my lateness. So I appreciate you guys coming through and showing love to the good doc. Let me go ahead and get the chat set up. I know probably nobody here quite yet, because sometimes whenever the notifications come out, they come out super duper late. So again, guys, that was the reason why I was late. And if you guys haven't noticed over the years, outsourcing has become a major thing. Okay, outsourcing is real, ladies and gentlemen, and there was no better example than what I just had to go through right now at this moment. You know how sometimes they try to put on the American accent, but it's very hard when they have a very thick accent. Most of the times you'll find that your call centers are in the Philippines, but I can clearly tell that the young lady and the young man that I spoke to today was clearly from the country of India. You don't have to ask me how I know that. You can pretty much tell. No disrespect. I mean, hey, you got to make that paper, got to make that coin. So at the end of the day, I'm not mad about that. But that was the reason why I was late. I was having communication issues trying to deal with customer service. Okay. But you know, without further ado, let me go ahead and give you a quick time check. It is officially 8:19 in the PM Eastern Standard Time, 7:20 in the PM Central Time, 5:20 PM for everybody repping that West Coast. And of course, since daylight savings time has pushed people forward an hour in the United States, it is officially 8:20 in the AM. I'm sorry. Philippine Standard Time. So we back on the 12 hours and no longer the 13. Like I said, sincerely hope that everybody's having a blessed day, with the exception of customer service bugging the hell out of me. Everything is going well. Now, again, let me go ahead and get the formalities out of the way. If any of you guys are looking to get your very own copy of the BOOTYLOO Chronicles, email me or look at the links in the links in the description area below will help you out. IPA shirts, if you guys want them, you know how to get them. What else do we got going on? Everything else you need. Podcast episodes 1 through 6. I did just drop Don't Be the Hyper Emotional Male, which is episode 7. You guys can look in the community section and you can check out that live stream, or I'm sorry, that podcast that was once a YouTube video for the other channel. If you guys want to listen to that one, that was pretty good in my opinion. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. That's already out, so go ahead and check out the podcast over there on Anchor. And then after which, let me see. I think that's it. All of the announcements have already been made. So we're going to go ahead and rip this one off like a Band-Aid and go ahead and get to the chat as we speak. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the United States of the Philippines. I repeat, I would like to be the first. Dr. Mike would like to be the first person to welcome all of you ladies and gentlemen, individuals, infants, children, one-legged dogs, two-legged cats, whatever you fuck, decrepit motherfucking animals, whatever it may be. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the United States of the Philippines. In this particular podcast, I would like to talk about how the United States has had such a profound effect and influence over the Philippines over the last few years. Now, you know, I'm not really big on going back into the history about how many different people have ruled over the Philippines, but, you know, as early as the Spaniards back in the day and all of that stuff, they ruled. But I kind of feel like in this era, where we stand right now, the United States has the biggest influence in the country. Now, of course, many of you who have been to the Philippines already knows that the United States I'm sorry, that the Philippines, my bad, that the Philippines is one big melting pot, right? Everybody knows the Philippines is a big melting pot. Like, a lot of different cultures exist within the Philippines. You have a Middle Eastern culture, the Black American culture, the American culture, the Japanese, Asian, Korean culture is part of the Philippines. And then, of course, the European culture. You know, there's a lot of different, there's an eclectic blend, in my personal opinion, when it comes to the Philippines. And the Philippines seems to hold on to very certain specific things from different cultures. But I personally believe that there is no one culture more profoundly in charge in the Philippines than the United States of America. This is why I refer to the Philippines as the United States of the Philippines, because it seems as though the Philippines likes to copy a lot of the things that the U.S. is doing. Let me repeat, the Philippines likes to copy a lot of the things that we see in the United States. And because of this, kind of makes me a little bit nervous. You mean to tell me that the culture that I'm trying to get away from on a daily basis, you mean to tell me that the culture that is kind of semi-really fucked up from time to time is actually having a very, very profound effect on the country in which I choose to hold near and dear to my heart? I think the Philippines has grown on me. I gave it 10 years of my life. So yeah, the Philippines is a part of me, and there's no getting around that. I stayed here for a third of my life. So, you know, it's kind of a love-hate relationship that I see going on right now. It's really like a struggle. It's the good versus evil. I'm not angry at the US having such influence. Like, there are positive influences that I'm seeing, like the development of the infrastructure. A lot of people have been asking a good doc about the infrastructure and how the buildings and everything that's coming up, you know, for handicapable individuals, the sidewalks and, you know, handicap accessibility and stuff like that. So the infrastructure side of the country growing and progressing, I can fuck with that. But the Instagram thoughts, the social media shit, I don't like that. You understand? So there is a love-hate relationship with the idea of the US having such a profound influence on the country. Now, a lot of people say, oh man, the USA got that big of a hold on the country. And I'm going to have to call bullshit. And the reason that I'm going to have to call bullshit is because from what I've seen, social media is running the world, and to me, social media is big in the United States. I kind of feel like social media influence is something that was born in the United States, because people seem to carbon copy what the US does, as far as the girls showing off their asses and twerking on Snapchat and, you know, selfies and all of that shit. All of that stuff, to me personally, came from the United States of America. I don't think no other country was doing selfies and all that shit before the United States did. So because of that, kind of feel like that trickling into the Philippines is really, really starting to hurt the country just a little bit. Now, there was a young lady a long time ago, probably when I was just in school, just before I was about to leave in 2016, probably a couple of years ago, there was a young lady who died taking a selfie. She fell down the stairs and broke her neck. Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. She was a young girl. I think she was in high school. She fell down the stairs and broke her neck trying to take a selfie. Tell me how fucked up that is. Think about that for a second. Just pause and marinate on that for a second. She fell down the stairs taking a picture of herself and broke her neck in school. So, you know, I'm looking at the negatives and the positives of all of it, and I'm really seeing that the United States has had such a really large grasp on the country as of late. And here's what's funny. Now, this is kind of a sensitive topic, but you know, the good doc doesn't mind touching, caressing, or molesting any topic, simply because this is what I do for a living. I talked about this in a video before, but let's talk about gay marriage for a second, okay? Let's talk about gay marriage. I'm not going to get into the details of the nitty-gritty of it all. I'm just going to talk about it from surface, or at face value, on the surface level. It's not my cup of tea. It's whatever you want to do your thing, love, whatever, love lives, and, you know, all that good shit, okay? But let's talk about it on surface level. I can remember specifically, that whenever the US made it legal for same-sex couples to get married, people in the Philippines lost their mind. Now, let's talk about that for a second. Whenever gay marriage was legalized in the United States, the Filipino people that that are LGBT, are part of the community, they were rejoicing, and I kind of felt like they were just happy in general, but I kind of felt like they were happy as if it was happening to them. You know, maybe they were happy for the people that were able to get the acceptance, but yet and still, y'all live in the Philippines. So that is something that's probably not going to be acceptable, not quite yet, considering, and I put this in air quotes, that the Philippines is a predominantly Catholic country, and dealing from things from the Catholic faith, that is just something that is not technically acceptable. Okay. So when I heard that, I was like, y'all getting excited, but that's for them people. That's for the United States people. That's not for y'all. Now, I'm not saying that you're rich Filipinos that choose to participate in this particular lifestyle can't fly out of the country, get married in Vegas, and be done with it. Because I know Isa Segura. I don't know if you know who she is. She's a very popular singer. She's really good. She is an open lesbian. You can tell she keeps the shortcut. You should Google her. Her name is Isa Segura. I don't know how to spell her last name, but anyways, she like 2 feet nothing. She's very short, but she can sing. She's a powerhouse in the voice. And even Charisse, whatever her name is, I forgot. Charisse, the little girl that sang on Glee, the little Filipino girl. You should see her now. Her name is changed to Jake something another. Jake something like that. Anyways, okay. That's neither here nor there. But the young lady that I'm talking about, Isa Segura, she's married. Like she and her girlfriend are married. I think they got married in California, if I'm not mistaken. So they're legally married. So if you're rich, you can fly to the United States. But basically, we were talking about the United States influence on the Philippines. And to my extent, and I said this shit a long time ago, I kind of feel like whatever the United States approves of, or whatever the United States chooses to legalize, is something that may possibly come to the Philippines one way or another, or come to the Philippines very, very soon. I kind of see the trend. If it happens in the U.S., it's going to happen in the Philippines one way or another. So is gay marriage likely to happen in the Philippines? I don't know. Iwan ko, I don't know. I do not know, but that is definitely something that is being talked about now. You understand? You see how it's becoming a topic of conversation. This is things that are going to the House of Representatives, things that are being sent to the Senate, things that are being sent to Congress, etc. So the topic is being talked about. You understand? This is something that is happening. There's talks about it now. Where there were zero talks about it before, there are talks about it now. Again, talking about the United States influence on the Philippines, aka the United States of the Philippines, which is why we titled this particular live stream that way. Okay, now let's talk about something else. Remember the whole legalization of marijuana, the Mary Jane, the marijuana? Now, look at it now. When the United States did it, now all of a sudden South Korea did it. Now, I'm not saying South Korea did it because of the United States, but now South Korea is the first Asian country that I know of to legalize it. Now look at who's taking note of it now. The Philippines is now finally saying, yo, let me get my hat in this ring now. Let me see what I can do with this now. See, so now you start to see the trend. You start to see that most of the things that the United States approves of, or the things that the United States agrees on, or is accepting of, or is legalizing now, you see the Philippines starting to look at it and talk about it. Now, I'm not sure how many years it's going to take before this thing becomes full-fledged, but in hindsight, looking at it from the outside looking in, I'm not in House and I'm not in the Senate, I don't know about politics, not my cup of tea though. But looking at it, you can see the wheels are turning, people. Once the idea gets into people's heads and you see people starting to see, okay, can we make money off of this? Or is there something that we can benefit from this? I see it happening in the US and I see what it's doing for people in the US. Let's see if we can make this work for us. Now you start to see how the United States influence on the Philippines is legit and it's real. Like I said, the Instagram thizzots and shit like that comes with the territory. One of the worst things that Filipinos could become, thinking that it's okay, this, westernized type of mentality, is fucking it up for everybody. I do agree. I'm just talking out the side of my neck. But again, I say that to say this, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the United States of the Philippines. And I hope that you enjoy your stay here. I truly, truly do. And that's my rant for the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for allowing me to speak my mind, and thank you for allowing me to say what I say and continuing to stick it with the good doc. Again, I see we got about 14 watching. That is perfectly fine. I appreciate all 14 of you coming through and showing love to the good doc. If you guys want to support the channel, by all means, please feel free, but make sure you caress, molest, and de-stress all over the like button for me. I would highly appreciate that. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and run to the chat and talk to my people and see what's going on with the family. I see my boy Eddie Goodman. He beat me to the building today. Appreciate you coming through, my G. Hope your Philippine trip was well. Shout out to the homie Dante Will, my boy Mr. BGC himself, World Traveler. See you in the building. Appreciate you being here. The homie Eddie Jackson made it on time. Appreciate you being in the building. My boy Terry Edwards was good. Awahudu says, in general, maybe, but I see Koreans taking over Angeles and a huge Chinese influence in Davao City. If you're talking about with respects to certain nationalities that are dominant, see, here's the thing. If you're talking about nationalities that are dominant in certain areas, yeah, the Americans are not dominant in any area in the Philippines as far as physical presence. As far as physical presence is concerned, the Americans are the Canos or whatever you want to call them. We do not have a dominant presence, but as far as policies and things of that nature, that's what I'm referring to. They seem to have a more profound influence than any other country that is part of the quote-unquote melting pot of the Philippines. Just a personal opinion. Everybody you can agree to disagree. I am perfectly fine with that. But hey, looking to have a good time. But Oahu, see you in the building. Shout out to my boy Frederick Mason, all the way from the great state of North Carolina. See you in the building. What's going on, Jay Jones? I feel you, my G. Appreciate you being here. My boy says, lady boys will never get married in the Philippines. Catholic influence is too strong. Again, but they're talking about it. You understand? That's the weird thing about it. Now it's a topic of conversation. Yes, it did get shut down quickly. I don't know if it was the Senate or the House, but there was a petition. And that petition for same-sex marriages and things like that, that shit was shut down quickly. But now it's a topic of conversation. That's the thing. That is what makes it interesting. The U.S. did it. Now it becomes a topic of conversation in the United States of America. I mean, I'm sorry, in the United States of the Philippines. So, you know, it's just something that always intrigues my thought process. I'm like, man, it'll be a cold day in hell, in my personal opinion, for that to actually happen, or for somebody to actually allow that to happen. And like I said in my video before, I was like, okay, so it happens and they do legalize it. I said, okay, so where are they going to get married? Many people from the Philippine culture know and understand that a wedding in a church is the way to go. But you got to find... you have to find a pastor or a bishop or somebody, you know, to marry you. You understand? So you have to find somebody willing to stick their neck out on the line and actually marry you. Now, there probably are a chosen few, but there's not many. So, you know, that always becomes something that intrigues the thought process, and it intensifies as things go on. But hey, good doc just talking outside of his neck because he doesn't know anything. Correct me if I'm wrong. Everybody thinks that I don't know what I'm talking about, but we having fun tonight. So hey, it is definitely something that is a topic of conversation. We already know the U.S. as far as the negative things that come with the territory. You know, the culture within itself. It's not a bad culture. It's just not a great one. I love some parts of my culture. I do. But most of it can be very, very negative in nature. So some of the things and the attributes and the attitudes that some of these Filipinas choose to take up is things that they've seen on TV or things that they've seen in social media. And that's a big no-no. But it's happening. So we can't act like the shit ain't here. All right. So my man says... my man Terry says the USA has always had influence in pop culture all over the world, not just in the Philippines. Very true. I mean, I see it. Yeah, it's all over the world. You're right. But, you know, because I live in the Philippines and this is something that I'm looking at on a daily basis, it's just something that always seems to come up as a topic of conversation in reference to what extent, you know? To what extent does the U.S. have such a profound influence on the world, but more specifically in the world that I'm living in, and that is the world of the Philippines. So Definitely on that. My man Awahudu says, cross your fingers and hope American feminism doesn't infiltrate the culture there. Yeah, that's a big finger cross right there, man. I cross my whole body for that. I pray to God it doesn't, but let's just pray that, I'm seeing small things, small infiltration. It's trickling in. It's like, when you can't turn the faucet off all the way and that shit's still dripping. So the drip is there. You see it in some of these women, but not all of them. And you pray it doesn't happen, but heaven forbid that faucet opens up and unleashes a whole, let the bat out of hell, my G. Heaven forbid it does, but we'll see. Shout out to the homie Trent, and I appreciate you being here. My boy Wahudu says the reason why you see U.S. legislature leaning towards the marijuana is because there's strong evidence that opioid use goes down in the states to legalize marijuana use. Well, then the same can probably be said for the Philippines. If you think about it, I mean, people smoke shabu like it ain't no thing. You feel me? That shit is a bad problem here. It's an epidemic. Now, I don't know anybody who's on the shit, but I mean, I know people, I know it's a bad thing, and I know that it does plague the country. I mean, you see these kids, they call them rugby kids. That's RUGBY. Those kids that be sniffing the rugby glue, that rubber cement shit to get high and sniff markers and shit like that. It's sad. So it's happening. So I'm not sure if a kid can smoke weed. It's not legalized to smoke it, but if it does bring down the use of other types of drugs, I can't really see a reason why the Philippines would oppose of that in the near future. I mean, they're not quite there yet. They're getting there, guys. Just wait. It's going to take a little bit of time. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but just give it a little bit of time, and I think that they will see that it's happening. One way or another, they will see. My man Terry says, USA is the leader of the free world, follow the leader. And they are. They're following the leader to the T. Damn near on everything. Oahu, did I read that? He said, oh, okay, I missed that one. Okay, my man Black Pablo Elite was good with your family. Jay Jones says, does the Philippines have underground hip-hop scene? Maybe the Filipino 50 Cent? Yes, they do have it. It's not necessarily underground, but they call it flip top. F-L-I-P-T. Yeah, flip top. F-L-I-P-T-O-P. Google it. Let me write that in the chat. They call it flip motherfucking top. Let me write that for you guys. If you Google this, and I'm sorry, if you YouTube it, you'll see a whole bunch of like Filipinos battle rapping and shit. It's really interesting. Now, it's going to be difficult to keep up if you don't speak any of the language, but yeah, that's like a big deal in the Philippines. It's up and coming. This is the OPM, the original Filipino music, not the R&B sensation cover band type shit, but this is the rap version of OPM. OPM was originally the Filipino love songs, but now you have rappers like Glock 9 and others that are paving the way for a generation of rappers. They got Ruby Ibarra. I think my boy Malcolm knows about this, but if my boy's in the building, I'll shout him out. Shout out to the boy Malcolm. But this is a popular scene now. It's starting to emerge. This has always been around. It's just not in the forefront. I mean, the Philippines is all about their love songs. They're all about their covers. Let's be honest. They're all about their covers, and that covers anything from your latest and greatest R&B singer or whatever it may be. They love covering songs that have already been made and, putting their own Filipino flair on it. So that's kind of what's going on. But as far as the Filipino 50 Cent, that'll probably be like Glock 9. Well, he's popular, so he's probably like your J. Cole or something like that, or the father or the person that's in charge of, the new school of Philippine hip-hop, for sure. And I do follow this stuff, guys. I'm not going to front. I do listen to a lot of Filipino rap music. I think it's pretty dope to an extent. And then sometimes my head starts to hurt because I don't understand all of it. When these motherfuckers start spitting fast, you know, I got to bring out my Tagalog book and I'll be like, damn, I just fucked up. I just lost it. So, you know, at the end of the day, I make sure that I stay in touch with the culture in which I live in as far as the rap is concerned. It's definitely a smaller segment than anything else, but yet and still it's a segment that is emerging, and eventually it may do good things. It may do big things. You know, you may have those guys that come through and make it happen. Do you have a Filipina Nicki Minaj? I don't think there is a Filipina Nicki Minaj, but as far as female rappers, Ruby Ibarra. She's the one that I think is the most notable name in that whole. And Ruby Ibarra is spelled RubyIbarra, Ibarra. I think something like that. So, yeah. My boy Wahoo Dude says Shabu is just as bad as opioids. Yes, it's probably worse. Marijuana is the same level as alcohol. Yes, in hindsight, when you look at the comparison, Shabu is horrible. Shabu is like crack cocaine. Shabu is like smoking crack rocks. That's pretty much what it is. It's probably a low-grade, shitty version of crack rocks, aka like crank in the United States. Probably the equivalent to ice or something like that. So, you know, it's bad. So, you know, if it can reduce the consumption of such drugs by legalizing marijuana, I don't see any country that would deny it. But then again, there's always going to be your naysayers. But I think if you have majority vote, I think that counts. I'm not sure if it has to be unanimous, but if you get majority, should do all right. There's going to be a couple of naysayers, legalizing weed and it's going to make all these people smoke and shit like that. They're going to be a couple, but, you know. Like I said, the chosen few, they'll hop on board when they see the money that can be made from it. That's all I see. I don't give a fuck what nobody says, man. When there's money to be made, why sleep on that money? You feel me? Only thing I can say about that. My man says, if Filipinos completely adopt Western feminist things, I might give up on humanity. Yep, it'll be a cold day in hell. And I'm pretty sure hell will freeze the fuck over if that happens. I will die a little bit inside, you know? I think I would. But then again, I always think of it like this. I've given the Philippines 10 years of my life. I've given the country 10 years of my life. And if it ever does happen, then I'll just have to move on to someplace else. That's it. That's all I got, man. I'm just going to have to say, fuck it. Me and the mean one will pack it up and we'll find another place to be, I guess. That'll, you know, hit the old dusty trail, fam. That's all we can do. You know, you will give up on humanity. Let's hope it doesn't go that far. Let's hope that that shit don't happen until I'm long gone. You know, till I'm long gone. Long gone. So, my boy Trent says, Dr. Mike, everybody around the world gets they drip from Black Americans for real. Do you got drip for sale? I was listening to that Plies song earlier. He got a song called Drip for Sale. That song been out forever, but that shit was just catchy. It was annoying as hell, but it was catchy. So yeah, I feel you, man. I think that there's a certain swag that African Americans have. I will agree with that, but let's not sit there and act like your European blonde hair, blue eye look don't get over on these women. Let's just make sure we give credit where credit is due in certain aspects of certain areas. So can't never shit on them for that. So my boy Wahoo says, do Filipinos pay their fair share of taxes like the Americans? I just did mine. I needed to get drunk, man. Dude. Taxes in the United States are brutal, man. But if you making money, man, they sure gonna get your ass. You better. Are you an LLC? Are you a limited liability corporation? Did you open up a business like that? Because that's the only thing I could do. I could only file under an LLC, man. I can't do a single, what do you call it? Employee shit. I don't like that, man. That shit weird. Like it fucks with my head a lot. It makes my head spin, you know, because they tax your single, because I'm single, man. I don't have any kids or dependents or anything. So, you know, you're going to take an L somewhere. So I'm not looking forward to my taxes, but I know if you had it bad, I probably won't have it as bad as you because I don't make a lot. But yeah, they're gonna get me too. You ain't the only one. But yeah, you needed to get you a bottle of Red Horse after that one. Yeah, taxes. I don't think that the Filipinos pay their fair share of taxes. The tax system, interestingly enough, is really, really fucked up to me. The tax system in the Philippines is very, very different, man. I'll tell you right now, I know some people that finesse the system. I will not say names. I don't say nothing about it, but I know some people who finesse the system. I'm talking about they clear well over, let's say they clear about 1 million pesos a year. Let's just automatically say, hypothetically, they clear about 1 million pesos a year, about $20,000. Now, yeah, that's enough money. It's not an extravagant amount of money, U.S. standard, but in the Philippines, that's 1 million pesos. That's a lot of money. That's what, on average, you're making what, roughly, fuck, I don't know. How much is that per month? Shit, something. You do the math on that. Who cares? Anyway, you're doing your thing. Wait a minute. I'm bored. I got to do that. What's 12 by 100? You're making... What is 9? 12 and 9. 12 and 7 is 84. Is that right? Yeah, 12 and 7 is 84. So 12 and 8 is 96. So yeah, roughly about 96,000 pesos a month. You know, they're doing pretty good. That's what I'll say. About 96 grand a month. It's not bad, right? So, like I said, give or take a couple hundred or some shit. So about 96,000 a month pesos, and they're paying taxes of about 100 pesos. they're probably paying like 500 pesos every quarter for their business. About $10 every quarter for their business. And then at the end of the year for their main taxes, they're probably paying 100 pesos. Now, again, because of their business, yeah, they clear about 96,000, but they have their deductions for their water, their deductions for their electric, their deductions for whatever they're putting together. So they have all of these deductions, gas spent on all of this, that, and the other. So they have all of these deductions that really, really clear them of a lot of shit. Now, I'm not actually saying that they have the receipts. They can kind of make their own receipts, especially if you work in a building that can create the receipts for you, a legit receipt. So, you know, they're able to finesse the system over there way easier than trying to get Uncle Sam, because Uncle Sam will get in your ass if you try to finesse him the way that I've seen people finesse in the Philippines. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you're making $1 million a year and you're paying like 500 pesos. You're paying 100 pesos. And I'm talking about, this is 96 net a month. Let's keep it real. This is not 96 gross. Not 96,000 gross, 96,000 net. Now they're 96. They have gotten to the point where they can claim 96,000 net and do the deductions from the net, not from the gross. Tell me how fucking crazy that is. But again, man, that's just the way it's set up. And it works, man. It works. All I can say is they getting away with it. Feminism in the Philippines, not happening, bro. I hope it doesn't, MD. So my man Black Pablo says, do they use a lot of synthetic marijuana in the Philippines? They are on that bad in Texas. I won't go near it. You know what? I don't know. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't smoke, guys. I'll be honest with you. I don't know nothing about the marijuana. I don't smoke it. I know people, like I said, I've been around it. I've been around it in my past. I know about it, but I don't touch that shit. So I don't know. It's possible. I mean, no different than the way they make cigarettes here. I think cigarettes are cheap because they be doing a lot of fucked up shit to it. I'm not going to say they are, but I'm not going to say that they are not. Okay? So that's just, you got to do your due diligence on that. I will say that. You have to do your due diligence. My man says, no LLC, not even that sophisticated. I'm retired old man living on purse, pensions, and investments. I got raked for $6 grand. Bruh, open an LLC and do all of your investments under your limited liability company, not your corporation. Limited liability company, man. That is the only way it works for me. I'm going to tell you why. If you do that, I know it's probably different in Hawaii. I know. But for me, the way that it works out is if I claim myself as an employee of my own business, I can pay myself from my business and still claim myself as a deduction from my business. Yeah, on the flip side, from the employer identification number and all of that shit, I might have to pay a little bit of money. But again, let's say, for example, that I'm making 100 grand a year. Okay, I can deduct what, $25,000, $30,000, saying that I'm paying myself as an employee. That way I'm only being taxed on that 30,000. Now that 30,000 comes out as a personal expense, right? So I can always count down, man, I spent money on gas for my bid, on, driving back and forth from work, it's all part of my job, blah, blah, blah. I can make up all kinds of shit, receipts for everything, so that maybe I'll cut away with, like, I don't know, maybe $1,000, hopefully, maybe a little less in taxes or some shit like that, give or take. That's why I really, really like the idea of being an LLC. Really works to your advantage to an extent, because there's a lot more deductions. Way more. Way more. If you could get away with not having to claim it all, good for you, but let's not try to do too much to Uncle Sam, because Uncle Sam starts to get suspicious. And when Uncle Sam gets suspicious, your ass going to jail. Okay, let's keep it real. Your ass is going to jail if Uncle Sam starts to get suspicious. You better be able to prove that you are claiming what you claiming. That's all I will say. My man DE Raptor, what's going on, family? My boy JD in the building. Appreciate you being here. My man Curtis Williams back at it again. He says, hey, Dr. Mike, Charlotte in the building. Shout out to North Carolina. It's been stated, and I quote, different cultures love our magic, but don't want the skin we live in. We make and made America for free. It's all good, man. Just let it happen the way that it is. Maybe they'll thank us later. I doubt it. I highly doubt it, but maybe they thank us later. My man Trent Knight says Philippine system is screwed up. It's screwed up. Yeah, screwed up from A to Z. A lot of Filipino people should be living like that, my boy. I'm telling you, bruh, they be finessing the system like a motherfucker, and I am so happy to see it happen. I'm like, yo, you want to know some corruption in the Philippines, guys? Dude, some people don't even pay taxes. They don't come after you if you don't pay taxes. I just don't think they're going to come after you. I'm sorry. I don't think that they have the time, don't think they have the effort or the energy. The Bureau of Internal Revenue is after way too many people. And the fucked up thing and the real thing about it, let's say you make 25,000 pesos a year and your taxes are like 1,000 pesos or some shit. You think they gonna come after you for $1,000? Hell nah. You want to know why? Because they got Philippine Airlines and Lucia Tan and Henry C. and all of these motherfuckers like Manny Pacquiao and all these people paying billions of pesos in taxes. They only care about them motherfuckers. Remember when Manny Pacquiao, y'all remember this, right? Y'all remember when Manny Pacquiao was under investigation because he said he paid his taxes in the United States, but they were like, nah, motherfucker, you supposed to pay your taxes in the Philippines too. Remember that? You want to know why they care so much? Because that is probably 1 billion pesos right there alone. His fights, I think that was right after his Floyd Mayweather fight or just before it. They were after this man for his taxes. They only care about people with money. That is the beautiful thing about the Philippines, man. They don't really come at you with the taxes like that. If you a low-level dude with a low-level business, you can finesse the system, my G. I'll put it to you like that. I give you my word. A low-level dude with a low-level business, you can finesse the system. I no longer have the business that I had before, but let me tell you, I surrounded myself with some geniuses who could help me do good things for myself, okay? I surrounded me with good people that could help me finesse the system. That's it. That's what you got to do. And it's a beautiful thing. They don't come after me. Remember, matter of fact, my girlfriend's name was on that business. So nobody came after me. Nobody even knew shit. Nobody even cared. I got audited one time. Bruh, I was open. Guys, my business was open for 3 years. And let me tell you a true story. When I had my business before, let me keep it 100% G with y'all. When I had my business before, they told me, yeah, in the next week or so, somebody's going to come through and look at your books. Bruh, they never showed up. They just didn't care. They were like, yeah, we're going to, like, next week, we're going to come check your books out, make sure everything's on the up and up. So I was supposed to get audited, but nobody showed up. Nobody even cared to show up. You know what? That is that fucking crazy out here. Like, when you get audited, like, you always want to make sure your books are up to date, of course. So all of my receipts were good. Everything was legit. Hey, we did our thing. Anything that we wanted to claim as part of our revenue, we wrote down on our business receipts. Anything that came secondary, we kind of had separate receipts for that. But again, like I said, I could talk about it now because I don't have the business anymore. But at the end of the day, I surrounded myself with some real people who help finesse the system. And touche. It's fucked up. And I mean, it is what it is, man. Like I said, it's just life. That's it. That's it. Davante says, yes, my LLC is my life. Shout out to everybody with a limited liability company to their name. Shout out to everybody who runs that lifestyle. LLC lifestyle, man. I fucks with y'all. For sure. You got to be your own business, man. If you can do it that way, unless you're employed. Now, if you're working for Walmart or you working for Food Line or some shit like that, yeah, you an employee. You understand? But if you kind of have your own business going through and you want to just, you know, you have to file taxes one way or another if you're making USD and, you know, people can see that you're getting transactions from whatever you're doing. Got to file taxes. So at least be an LLC. You know, just say this is the Delvante Arnold Services LLC or some shit like that, you know? So at the end of the day, you're registered. Just register your business. It cost me $125 to register my business. That's not cheap, but it's not expensive either if you realize what you can get benefits-wise from having an LLC. So it's kind of been the way that it's supposed to be, in my personal opinion. My man says I need to hire Dr. Mike as my tax accountant, change your name to Dr. Tax. I'm telling you, bro. I'm keeping it real, man. If you can, the thing is, this is all my school shit, man. I learned this shit in school, but then a lot of this I learned on my own. And again, you surround yourself with people who know shit like this. My dude told me, he was like, yo, if you're an LLC, claim yourself as an employee. Say you give yourself $35,000 a year. That is a $35,000 deduction from your LLC. Now, when you do claim as an employee, yeah, they're going to probably get you for a little bit. But at the end of the day, you could do more deductions. You could say, man, like I said, my gas is part of my deduction. Damn, these batteries that I use to do this, to work this machine, yeah, I had to pay for that. Just make sure you have your receipts. That's all that matters. Your receipts are what matter. You got to show that you paid for this shit or that you have receipts showing that you paid for something. That's all. But ultimately, if you are a business, like I said, if you're not employed by anybody like a large corporation or something like that, be an LLC, man. There's no other way to get around that. That is the beautifulest thing that my father ever told me as a child. Be an LLC, bitch, and you'll be all right. Man. My man says United States and the Philippines, foreigners are in trouble. Yeah, they are, man. Oahudu says, if you make money teaching TEFL online in the Philippines, do you have to pay Philippine taxes? Not that I know of. No, not that I know of. Hell no. Actually, I don't know where you pay taxes at. I think you still pay U.S. taxes. But then again, I think it depends on, well, actually, to be honest with you, I think it depends on how you get paid and where you get paid. Like, for example, if you get paid through PayPal and your PayPal is linked to your United States bank account, then you're probably still paying U.S. taxes. If you're linked to a Philippines bank account, maybe, just maybe, that is possible. That is a, you know what? No, I scratched that. Fuck that. Don't listen, disregard what I said. If you're getting money, like let's say, for example, you're getting paid through a Philippine bank account. If you're getting paid through a Philippine bank account and you're able to set it up and everything is good, you can claim that as a remittance, not as pay for a job. Just always say this is your remittances. That's not, you can't tax a remittance. You can tax shit that you say, yeah, this is payment from a job. Nah, this is just remittance for such and such. You know, as long as you claim it as a remittance and not as pay for a job, you don't have to pay taxes on that. So that's the way you claim it. You say it is a remittance. If you have a Philippine bank account, of course, and you're getting money to it, it's a remittance, not pay from a job, and you'll be okay. You say you're sure you're not an IRS audit bait. I promise you I'm not. I promise you I'm not. Yep, LLC is the way to go. See, everybody knows the rules, man. Everybody knows about that LLC life, man. You got to be a limited liability company, ladies and gentlemen. You got to I'm not going to say incorporate yourself, but business 101, first thing my dad taught me is, son, get your LLC. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to do business for yourself, you're not working for anybody, get your LLC. You know, it's cheap. Like I said, in the state of North Carolina, it cost me $125 to get my LLC. Now, then you have to get your EIN, which is your employee identification number. your employer, I'm sorry, identification number. There's a lot of other little shit to get, but once you're employed, once you're making money, that's it. You can say, I'm part of, like you said, you could call it the Oahu Dude Investment LLC, Investments LLC or some shit. So all of your investments, money made, is going towards the business. Now, whatever you choose to pay yourself from your business is a little bit different. You understand how they tax businesses is a whole lot different than taxing single individuals. Trust me, Trump, whether you like that man or not, he is all about his business folk, okay? I will say this to the day that I die. I will say this till I'm blue in the face. I don't care your personal opinions on the president. His taxes, I say this, the way that the taxes are set up, they're set up for businesses to succeed. Now, employers, oh, we're fucked. Okay, let's be honest. If you make enough money and you're just set up as an employee, oh, you're fucked. You're going to get taxed out the ass. But if you are a business, you're going to come out fairly well. You're going to come out doing good. Tell me this. I don't know if you guys heard this. I don't know if I mentioned it to you, but guess how much Amazon ended up having to pay? $1 billion company. I think Amazon paid no taxes for the taxable year of 2018. Let me rephrase that. Let me say that one more time. And just in case you guys didn't get it, let me say that one more time. Amazon, $1 billion. Let me say that. Amazon with a B, $1 billion company, paid 0 taxes. How fucked up is that? Amazon is a $1 billion company. They ain't paying no taxes. Come on, man. Businesses are set up to succeed under this regime, okay? I'll say it right now. They don't tax big business. They don't tax. Businesses have so many deductions, it's ridiculous. You got to read them books, man. Goddamn, man. You got to read the books on that one. I learned it a long time ago, man. Don't get finessed by the system, man. You got to finesse the system. So if you're doing your own solo thing and you're not employed by anybody, get your LLC and get that shit immediately. Not immediately, but immediately. I am not an IRS audit bait, I promise. My man Curtis says, so Doc, if I retire in the Philippines, bringing 150,000 pesos a month there, they're going to audit me. Well, what I did hear that, well, no. It depends on how you get paid. Again, let me say that one more time. It does depend on how and where you get paid. If you have a Philippine bank account and you're having money sent to a Philippine bank account, they'll look at you. But if you're just having that money sent to your US bank account and you're just using your card, no. I mean, if that's the money that you're getting from the US, they ain't gonna look at it. The only reason that they, like, for example, shit, this is everywhere that you go, as far as I know. But every time I opened a bank account, I opened like 5 different bank accounts in the Philippines. Don't ask me why. I was always moving money around for no damn reason. Okay, so I opened up 5 different bank accounts in the Philippines. Okay, I like to spread my shit around. It's just fun that way for me. I got to make sure, just in case one fucks up, I can make sure I'm good in another one. Okay, so when I opened up 5 different bank accounts, they had me fill out this form. And I had to sign this form. And this form said, you know, should the U.S. choose to audit you or look into your bank account, this gives them permission to do so. You have to sign that form in order to open a bank account in the Philippines. Now, if you do make it this far, they ain't going to do it. Okay, 9 times out of 10, they ain't going to do it unless they think that you're trying to hide money. Okay, now don't try to hide from Uncle Sam. Okay, be legit, be as legit as humanly possible with Uncle Sam, so Uncle Sam doesn't have a reason to come looking for you in the Philippines, okay? That's the best thing I could tell you. Be legit with what you do. Just try to finesse it a little bit at a time. You know, you can't send all of your money to the Philippines and expect them not to look into it, because when you sign some of those documents at the bank, you're giving them permission to release financial records to the United States. So if you are getting paid to your U.S. bank account and you're just using your U.S. ATM to get money out, you don't have anything to worry about in the Philippines. The Philippines ain't got shit to do with what you're doing. But yet and still, if you're getting money sent to to a Philippine bank account, it gives the U.S. reason to look into it or to look at it. But yet and still, in the Philippines, you're not going to pay taxes there as long as you claim it as remittances. Again, this is remittances. You know how overseas Filipino workers send money home? Yes, that is the exact same thing. This is my remittance. This is an allowance for whatever. This is payment for something, but this is just a remittance to me. Don't ever call it a salary. Okay, don't ever refer to it as money paid from a job. That's crazy, stupid. Because then they might look into it. You know, that gives them reason to look into it. Like I said, they don't tax remittances ever, so you ain't got to worry about that as long as you throw it that way. My man says, I thought you established an LLC only for liability reasons. So if you get sued, they can only go for what's under your LLC and not your home, retirement, etc. Oh, yes, it's just a safety umbrella. But at the end of the day, doesn't that sound beautiful? No, it's well, let me say this. LLCs, that is a major benefit, but that's not the only one. You're right. It does protect you. That's the hints behind the reason limited liability, correct? You're limitedly liable for certain shit, okay? So basically, nobody can come after all your money, only up to what the damages were done, etc., etc., okay? That's one of them. But the other reason is the one in which I mentioned, saving money on your taxes. That is another major reason why people file LLCs, man. It's all about the taxes, too. Definitely the taxes are a part of it. My man Pablo says, how long do business registration processes take? About 2 weeks, I guess. You can get it done, everything done within a month. I don't think it takes long. It just depends on how many people are filing. But let's be honest, nobody really knows about LLCs. Nobody wants to go through, learning about taxes and how they can fucking get right and get their money together if they're entrepreneurs. Nobody wants to do that shit. Nobody wants to take the time to do it, which is why I laugh at half of the people who are getting taxed out the ass, because they just don't know that they could be saving millions and not millions, but you could be saving a lot of money by switching your employee to an LLC for sure. You can save a pretty good penny, doing that type of shit. So I think it's about 2 weeks the process is, but you can't sleep on that shit, guys. Like I did. I slept on it in the beginning, but then once somebody really schooled me on the game of how you can really use the LLC to finesse, boy, I'm over here. Nigga, I'm over here shooting shots like Jordan. I'm over here dropping 25 points a game with that LLC. That's just the way we're going to do, man. All right, man. MD, take care, brother. I see you. Take care, my G. But yeah, them tax breaks, bro. Them motherfucking tax breaks. They're amazing, man. Have a good one, MD. I see you out. My man said they pay zero in taxes. They get paid to make warehouses in the United States. Exactly. So with all of the deductions and everything that Amazon got this year, they made billions of dollars, billions and billions of dollars, and paid zero in taxes. Tell me. Somebody, come on, man. That's got to be the biggest finesse. That has got to be, guys, that's got to be the biggest finesse of the century, man. I'm sorry. I don't think there's a bigger finesse in the world's history than Amazon paying zero in taxes. Yeah, they built those warehouses, but you don't think they benefit from those warehouses too? Come on, guys. I know this isn't really a tax talk video. I'm not really a business guy like that. That's not what my channel's about. But let's keep it 100. This is all in reference to, the United States of the Philippines, ladies and gentlemen, taxes, the breaks, the tax breaks, and the system of finessing them all, man. It is a great way to do what you do, man. That's all I'm going to tell you. So my man TJ, my man TJ is in the building. What's going on? He says, Dr. Mike, look up Joe Bainster. He exposed the tax system. It's no law. You have to pay income tax. He said, it's no law that you have to pay income tax. Research it. When I get a chance, I'll definitely check it out, bro. That's interesting, though. I didn't know that. I really didn't. But yeah, that's crazy. There's no law that says we have to pay. But try getting around Uncle Sam and the IRS and see if your ass don't end up in jail. So, yeah, I love it, man. Like I said, if I'm going to pay, I want to pay the least amount as humanly possible, guys. That's all I'm going to tell you right now. But like I said, I see we got about 15 watching. I appreciate all 15 of you coming through and showing love to the good doc. Definitely appreciate you being here. Guys, make sure you go ahead and get the likes up on the video. The good doc would highly appreciate that. If you guys feel like if you guys want to support the channel, you already know how to do so. But of course, the good doc is happy that you come through, spend a little bit of your time with him today. Nayon Den. Earlier, we were speaking on the United States of the Philippines, how the United States influence on Philippine culture has really made a pretty decent impact. It's made a pretty decent impact on the Philippines so far, and I guess I'm interested to see where it goes in the future. Yes, I am not a reader of minds. I don't know how this is going to pan out. I don't know to what extent the U.S. will influence the Philippines, but yet and still, I noticed that the U.S., I think, what was it, like $36 million, I think? I think the U.S. provides aid to the Philippines in the amount of like $36 million or some shit like that. I can't remember. Because I remember, or was it 54 or something like that? Because there was a time when I think President Obama said something about he was going to cut off the aid to the Philippines, and President Duterte said, "Oh, you want to play that game, motherfucker? Okay, take your motherfucking money, shove it up your ass. I'm gonna go to China. I'm gonna go to Korea. Tell me what you're gonna do now." So yeah, I do remember those words coming out in and about that particular way. So again, I do realize that when you provide money and aid to a particular country, that also provides an influence as well. You do adopt some of their shits that could make life easier, I guess, and make the transition smoother. They're not part of NAFTA. NAFTA is the North American Free Trade Agreement, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what alliance it is. I'm sorry, guys. I don't really care for the politics. So I don't know what alliance the Philippines and U.S. has, like what they call it, like by name. All I know is that, it's there and it's happening. So just speaking my mind, guys, and having some fun and speaking my truth, people. That's all I can say. My man Oahudu said Amazon tried to open up headquarters in New York for tax benefits, but New York declined and gave up 25,000 jobs and billions of revenue. Doesn't that sound kind of corrupt? The Philippines must be worse. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, it's weird that they shut down a headquarters that would bring revenue to the state and also jobs to the state. I'm not sure what unemployment is right now as far as for the state of New York. Maybe unemployment wasn't bad when they made that request, I guess. Must not have been that bad if they were willing to literally say no. It's bad. It's bad, but I kind of feel like if you can find a compromising ground with the Philippines and they can see that they're going to benefit, I think you can do anything in the country, man. I don't care what anybody says. If you can find a way to make it look as if they're going to benefit heavily from it, who wouldn't take that? Who wouldn't take it? My man Curtis says, I just want to retire in the Philippines, chase a couple of Filipinas until they bury me 6 feet under. I'm not into all the other shit. Oh, man, you ain't got to worry about that. I'm still relatively young. Like I said, man, when you get a pension, it's all good, bro. Just keep the money going into your U.S. bank account. That's what my dad does, man. My dad has pensions and stuff like that from, his time in the military. So he just withdraws it from his ATM from the U.S. Here in the Philippines, and that's it. That's it. I mean, that's the best way to do it. If you're not business, if you're not into doing business and stuff like that, then all of this extra shit is null and void, okay? I'll be honest with you. It means nothing at all. But at the end of the day, have fun, man. Just enjoy it. That's all I can say. Like my man Oahu dude says, you gotta go in there and enjoy the time, man. Just have fun. You're like you said, man, you're 58, bro. You shouldn't be worried about this shit. The only reason I worry about this, the only reason I talk about it is simply because I'm looking for ways to benefit myself right now. I'm looking for ways to see how I can benefit from everything right now. You gotta see what, what you can get away with not having to pay right now. That's definitely going to make your life easier down the line. That's just the way that I've always taken into consideration. I don't know everything, but I do know of a good tax guy who knows the system. So I give him all of my shit. I'd be like, look, man, save me as much as humanly possible. I already know about what range I'm going to have to pay out. So I'd be like, yo, man, if you can save me more than this, I'll give you the difference. That's what I tell him. I'm like, look, if you can save me more than this amount, I will pay you the difference. Whatever the difference is that you can save me legitly, I said, I'll give you the difference. And sometimes it could be a hefty chunk of change. So that's kind of our deal. You know, he doesn't work necessarily for a company, but he's a CPA. He's certified. So, you know, it's kind of how that game goes. My man says, how do you think the Philippines has been influenced most by the U.S. culture so far? In what way has the Philippines been influenced by the U.S. the most? Well, restaurants, food. That is the biggest way that the U.S. has influenced the Philippines. And let me explain why. Starbucks is a luxury brand. Okay, so Filipinas seen with Starbucks cups in their hands are looked upon as, oh, they must be rich. It's a status symbol. So the U.S. has influenced a lot of people based on brand recognition. Does that make sense? Brand recognition. Yeah, we know about McDonald's. We know about KFC. Jollibee is a Philippine thing, I think. And we know about Starbucks, man. And we know about Coach. We know about Gucci, even though black people shouldn't be wearing Gucci. That's what they tell me. But anyways, you know about shit like that. You know about Prada. You know, I don't think those are American brands, but I think they were made popular by people living in the U.S. Even though they're not American brands, some of those, they were made popular by people who actually live in the U.S. Okay, so it's kind of like the U.S. people wearing the brand in the U.S. made it popular in other countries. Okay, so I mean, I say that to say this. I think brand recognition, like companies like Starbucks and stuff like that, that is the biggest influence in the country. Going to restaurants like Fridays and, you know, going to these, you know, like food places. I think that is the biggest influence. A lot of people think I'm crazy, but I'm like, look, man, people go broke trying to live a lifestyle of eating and drinking at these particular places and buying these brands simply because it's popular in the US to have these brands. Like, yeah, it's cool to have the Gucci belt. It's cool to have the Prada bag for ladies and shit like that. It's cool to wear these name branded things. So based on that alone, I think that's the biggest influence. They will go broke trying to afford a lifestyle that they can't live. So if that makes sense to you, that would be the best pop culture influence so far to date. Yeah, I think that's what I want to say. I think that's about it. My man Eddie says, he said you don't have to pay. Yo, you stupid, man. You say you don't have to pay. You really, ask Wesley Snipes, tax on like women. You always pay one way or another. You damn right, man. He said biggest American influence by far is English. Main reason that makes me go back there. Well, yeah, I mean, the fact that they do speak English, yes. The fact that it is not necessarily an English-speaking country, but a country that values the English language and uses it in their school and uses it in their teachings, yeah, it makes it easier for us foreigners to communicate. Again, not everybody's perfect, but hey, you know, there's a lot of people that can help translate for you, no doubt. He said, I gotta look you up when I get there. Hey, man, reach out to the good doc. I ain't going nowhere. Well, I'm lying. I might have to go somewhere soon, like I said, but I'll definitely try to make my way back, and we'll see how we can get it together for sure. Nope, there is no Little Caesars in the Philippines, but there is a Papa John's. I think there's a Domino's as well, but I think those are in Manila only. I think there's like my man. Shout out to my homeboy BGC Mike. He told me they're building a Popeyes somewhere over there, and I don't know if it's Greenbelt, Makati, or some shit like that. I think they're building a Popeyes out there, shit. So you know, you got all that stuff coming eventually. So you know, maybe like I said, if one branch does well, let's see. If one branch does well, they'll probably open up more. Whew. Good dog getting tired, man. But yeah, man, that's that lifestyle, B. The US influences brand recognition, brand loyalty, and all that shit. That's kind of how this game is going. Kind of how the game is going to be. So, I don't know if I'm done yet. I think I'm finished. Almost done. I think I'm straight. I think I've talked and touched on everything that I wanted to. Well, man, shout out to the homie. I see my man Ed in the building. I appreciate it. I see we got 16 watching. I appreciate all 16 y'all coming through and showing love to the good doc. It's been fun. It's been real. I love it. I appreciate you guys being here. And you're probably right. You know, if we talk about money saving and all of that shit, we do realize that some people don't necessarily know how to save. Now, I'm not gonna say it's just a Philippine thing because that's bullshit. Because there are a bunch of Americans that don't know anything about saving and still use credit cards as, oh, I can buy this now, pay it later, not knowing about hidden fees and the whole nine. Should they miss a payment? I'm talking about the APRs and shit and the rates. Should you miss a payment? Absolutely ridiculous, people. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, man. I'm gonna go ahead and catch some sleep in a minute, guys. I think I'm good. I need to make my shout outs real quick. But yeah, man, welcome to the United States of the Philippines, land of the free and home of the Filipinos. Just fucking around. All right, guys, I'm gonna get my quick shout outs real quick. A Wahoo dude, what's going on? He said being broke is normal in America. Very true. A broke in America may be rich in the Philippines, though. Food for thought, people. Broke in America may be rich in the Philippines. So shout out to my boy Wahoo Dude, my man Curtis. Ed, appreciate you being here. TJ, much love to you, man. Eddie Jackson, I'm glad you were able to catch me from the beginning. My boy Black Pablo Elite, much love to you, my G. Delvante, appreciate you being in the building. MD, I know you're out, but appreciate you being here. Who else we got in the building? My boy DE, my man Trent. Much love to the homie Trent Knight. Black Pablo, I probably said you, but I'm saying it again. My boy Jay Jones, much love to you, my dude. Terry Edwards, man, much love to you too, family. Frederick Mason, all the way from the great state of North Carolina. I know my boy Curtis is from there too. The homie Dante Will. Then, of course, my man Road Traveler, Mr. BGC Mike, and then my boy Eddie Goodman. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been fun. It has been real, and this has been the Good Doc's time. Appreciate you guys listening, and I appreciate you being a part of the team. You guys are a great and wonderful crowd. Again, this channel wouldn't be anything without any of you guys, all right? You guys make this fun for me. That's why I come on every night and try to put on the best show humanly possible. I may not be perfect, but you know what? I try to give you 100% of me every single time, which is why my throat hurt. I might take a day off tomorrow. I think y'all getting tired of hearing me every day, so I might take a day off tomorrow. Let the what is that? Yeah, I'm gonna let my voice rest a little bit, and I'll probably be back on Friday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been fun. It has been real. So let's see, like we close it out normally. The normal closeout is back. The Good Doc is officially out. At least go paalam, which means we are going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Mahal kita. Mabuhay. Peace.